So smart telescopes are the other category of telescope that I haven't really discussed, and I think really they deserve their own category. Here we've got the SeeStarsS ZWO SeeStarsS smart telescope. This is the SeeStarsS S50 telescope, and as you can see, it comes in a polystyrene case that's quite light and quite portable. You've got a very small tripod here that you just simply pull apart and sit down. You've got to make it level, hence why there's a bubble thing in here. There is a white light solar filter in this as well that you can put over the telescope itself. The telescope itself is here. Very weird looking thing. You can see that this is the main optical tube assembly here. This is the mount, and you've got here the little slot there that takes the C cable for charging it or powering it, and then on the back of it you have the power supply there. So it's battery powered, this one. It doesn't really require polar alignment. It tends to take care of that itself. That's why it's a smart telescope. The other thing, which I can't show you at the moment because it's hidden in there, that's where the objective lens is. It's quite a small objective lens. And anyway, I'm going to pause this and then put it together for you. Right, so literally that is the telescope, and it's been set up. It's just been screwed in. And that's pretty much it. So what you would do now is you will turn it on and wait for that to start up. Now, a couple of things about this. This isn't the type of telescope that's going to take a camera added to it. This is one already built in. There are no eyepieces, and the other thing as well is it entirely computer controlled. And the way we computer control it is that it comes with a free app you can download called SeeStarsS, which I've downloaded onto my tablet. Powering on, ready to connect. And that's now been powered on. So it needs Bluetooth to operate, and admittedly, I haven't had this on for a while, and more than likely it's going to have a firmware update needed. So this is the Aussie Air starting up. Actually, no, whoops, I've actually got two of them and I've gone into the wrong app. Do pardon me. Oh dear, hold on. Let me just clear these off. I've opened up the wrong app. There we go. There's SeeStarsS. It's the little star that's there. That's the correct app. Allow, I'm not going to go for that. I don't want any notifications. And update the firmware. Typical. Knew I was going to meet that. Okay, there's no way I can get around that, so I'm going to pause it. So I'll say a few words about this while it's doing the firmware update, because that's taking a bit of time, and I don't know how long before my kids are in through the door. That's flashing away there to say the update's taking place. You can see there's 4 bars there, so it's on full power. Long to charge the SeeStarsS, probably about an hour, or that's recommended you don't let it go past the final bar before you charge it back up. And you can have an external battery plugged in for extended lifetime, but I have been informed that below a certain temperature it doesn't draw the charge from the power, so that's the only problem. These telescopes are very versatile, and if you want one that's got no setup at all hardly, and the only thing you've really got to do to set it up is to make sure it's level, and that is it. After that, you use the app on the tablet, which I will probably do another tutorial for, and it will go to wherever you want to go. It's got a high focal ratio. In other words, it's a bit like the Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope. So if you take the diameter of the lens and divide it into the focal length, you get the focal ratio. So the higher that is, the lower the field of view is. And for these, it's not that wide. The pictures are very good in a sense. You let them kind of stack. It's kind of hard to discuss that technology, that terminology, when we're just looking at the beginners. So I'll get back to what this is good for and what it isn't good for. This is very good for deep sky objects. It's good for the moon, and with the filter you get, it is good for white light. It's just good for white light solar work. That will come out, and that will go over the the objective lens, which I'm hoping to show you when that is finished. So it's very good for that. What it is the planets. It isn't very good for the planets at all. So if you're getting it for that, it isn't really.
Firmware update succeeded.
Okay, so the update's been succeeded then. Good. And that probably means it's going to turn off or something, and I'll have to turn it back on. That's it. So the flashing stopped. I hit OK here. There we are. I hit OK there, and then bingo. And this is the user interface. If I just hit open arm, and that opens up, and that's opening up purely so I can put a filter on it. If I want, I'll take the filter off. There are no other filters needed for this other than the solar filter that it comes with. But there you can see the lens on it right there. So that's now available for you to plug it in. And then you've got your stargazing that's here. And you've got your choice of galaxies that you can go to. And this will automatically go there. And this is a choice of what's available if you were to go out there tonight or now. So you've got Messier 13, M27 are the popular ones, M31, M81. Yeah, all these are available there if you just want the general tour. And this telescope is quite good at going there without any problems. The only thing it struggles on, I find, is finding the moon. And of course I can close the arm like that without any problems. It doesn't come with a dust cap for that, which I find is a bit of a problem, a bit of a concern. But nevertheless, it folds up quite nicely. So I guess it's kept in that case. So I guess that's why they didn't give you a dust cap. Obviously, there's no other issues with these I can think of. I mean, they really are looking for a low maintenance plug and play telescope. Just plonk and go. That is it. The only disadvantage I will say to them, barring the fact that they're no good with the planets, is they are very expensive telescopes for what they are. One of them is £500, and there's other ones coming out from other manufacturers where they're more expensive than that. Is it worth funds? I don't know. It depends on what your mileage is. But for me, where it gives me freedom with my telescopes is if I'm taken by surprise by a clear night, I could just pop this outside, set it on task and leave it be, and it will do that. And you have to get the way to get the images is usually through, see, this is the album. So this is some solar work I've done. In fact, that's a not total solar. That's a partial eclipse that I imaged with it. So you can see there's some sunspots there. Needless to say, I did have that said filter on it, which I've just plonked down somewhere. There it is. So do not go to the sun without that on there, and that will slot over the lens. And that's why you can open it up 90 degrees to put that on. And make sure that's nice and solid and firm before you go to the sun, because if it's not, you are going to burn out your sensor, damage over £500. So this is some of the work I've taken. Obviously the partial eclipse was a fair few images. This is what it did with the Great Orion Nebula. That's not really too bad. Taken quite a fair few of those, it seems. Had a go at the planets. Again, you can see the Galilean moons, but not much detail on the planet itself. And come out of there. And here we are. We've imaged the Messier 13 globular cluster. So what you take from it is the quality of the images isn't too bad for what it is. But it's a lot of money. But, you know, if you want this on holiday, it's very good for that. In fact, I'm taking it to next year's eclipse. I mean, here's a nice sunspot scuba I captured with it not long ago, last June. And if I go on, there's obviously the moon. So you can vary the magnification as well with these, which I can't show you at the moment. So you either get the full moon in like that, or you zoom in and you get the, you can get sort of... The only thing I'll say with it is these pictures aren't particularly crisp, I don't think. But otherwise, it's not a bad telescope. I don't know who's songing out there, but I'm going to have to go because I think my family are coming back. But I hope that's been a reasonable introduction to the interface for that telescope, and a brief sort of intro to smart telescopes. Is it where things are going? I don't know. Does it replace the higher end telescopes? No, but it's a good plug and play. And I think it rivals many of the other types of telescopes out there that are of optical design that require more manual work. So anyway, I hope that's been of use, and thank you for watching.